steps, and in the previous video I showed the different combinations which we could use jab steps from. Now this would be the second video on dribbling basics and the size ups that you can do to set your defender up, get them off balance, and hopefully create your own shot. So for the jab step, this video builds on the jab step video, so I suggest watching that before proceeding here. So first we want to teach the basics of the right stick dribble moves from a stationary position first. Pressing the right stick up will get you into the signature size up combination dribble, so it's a long animation that plays out. And I know a lot of people criticize this because it's a canned animation in nature and takes away control from the user. But one thing you have to realize is that through the signature size up dribbles, you can break out of these animations at any point. So here, let's say I initiate right stick up. From the get-go, I can break out of it. If I want to do it mid-animation, I can do that too. So in this case, what I did was cross over to the opposite side based on my dribble hand. So that's first, flicking the right stick up gives you that signature size up dribble. Now, with the ball on my left hand, flicking the right stick towards my ball hand, in this case my left hand, gives us a hesitation. So here I'm flicking to the left because the ball is in my left hand. Gives us a nice hesitation dribble. Okay. Now from my left hand, if I want to flick the right stick towards my non-ball hand, in this case my right hand, that gives us a crossover. See? So just by flicking the right stick to the opposite direction of your ball hand gives you a crossover. Now flicking the right stick towards your non-ball hand back to your ball hand in quick succession gives you a double crossover animation. See? So in this case, the ball is on my right hand, flicking the right stick left to right very quickly gives us the double cross animation. Okay, flicking the right stick backwards or down in this case gives us a behind the back animation, the behind the back dribble. Okay, and flicking the right stick at a diagonal direction towards your off ball hand gives you a between the legs cross. So again, each direction on the right stick gives you a different dribble move which you can execute and explode out of. So here's a signature size up, the crossover size up, the hesitation size up, behind the back size up, and your between the leg size up. So if you have those moves memorized, what you can do is break out into combinations. And for elite dribblers, you will notice that they have a specific package where it gives you a signature size up combination, and it's different for each player. So for Steph, he has this between the legs to the behind the back dribble size up. So let me execute that. Oops. See? Between the legs, behind the back. Between the legs, behind the back. He also has a double behind the back dribble which acts as a size up. So flick the right stick quickly downwards gives us that double behind the back dribble animation. And see here, if I press behind the back dribble thrice in quick succession, Steph kind of stumbles, and that means that the chain is not probably good. And you'll notice certain combinations that work better than others based on the reaction of the player. So in this case, it's a smooth animation, which means it's probably a natural dribble combination. Again, another one of Steph's dribble animations is the double between the legs cross. So what I do is flick the right stick from my right hand diagonally to the left, and in rapid succession diagonally to the right. So if I'm not making sense, I think it's best to try to execute these moves in practice. So what are the importance of these signature combinations? These are the most powerful tools you have to try and break your defender down because they're so effective in creating space. So just take a look. By doing the signature between the legs behind the back cross, look at all that space that Steph is able to cover. So from here, if someone is guarding you from a stationary position and you execute that particular size up, given Steph's shooting range, it's almost like a behind the back dribble, step back shot, which is super powerful. You've probably seen it a lot if you do play now online, or my team. See? It's a great way to create space. Now the next step in doing these combination moves is knowing how to explode out of them. And if you remember in the video yesterday, I've showed you how to explode out of a move by first executing that move, and while the animation is playing out, holding the turbo button and pressing the left stick in any direction you want. So for the jab steps, for example, if I jab to my right and I want to explode to the left, I hold the turbo button and press the left stick towards the left. It's the same concept with dribble moves. If I want to do a hesitation dribble, explode to my left, I just hold turbo as the hesitation animation is going, and then explode to my left. So for these signature size up combinations, it's good to explode in different directions. Again, it's a read and react system. And see how your defender plays you, and just basically try to combine the moves. Okay. Now, one of the more powerful new additions to this year's 2K are the walk-up dribbles animations. These are a good way to get your defender off balance. So to initiate these moves, you want to start a walking animation, and you do this by slowly feathering the left stick to create a walk-up animation. So in this case, this is it playing in real time. As you can see, Steph starts walking. And flicking the right stick towards the dribble moves that I taught earlier does these walk-up size-ups, which are very effective in getting your defender off balance. So let's try a simple walk-up animation, do a crossover, as you can see. So why these are so effective is because at any time you can explode and create some nice opportunities to explode and create your shot. See? Those are very good in terms of getting your defender leaning. If you play this at slow motion, you can see the head movement is a lot of it. What I did was, from my walk-up animation, do a between the legs cross, behind the back, and then a crossover. And that's all executed using the moves I taught earlier from the stationary position. So walking, flicking the right stick diagonally gives you the between the legs cross, and then at any point you can explode and create space and create their shot. So I said at the beginning of the video, these are good in terms of creating space, and when used in combination with the jab steps, really give you multiple opportunities to try to put your defender off balance. So remember yesterday I taught, or in the previous video, I taught these jab steps which you can use in combination to create your space and get your defender moving a certain direction. How to combine this with your size ups is, so from a jab step, do the step back dribble, and then from there, you can combine it with your dribble moves. So jab step, hold turbo and press down on the right stick, gives you the opportunity to dribble by doing a step back, and then from there, you can combine these with your signature combinations. So jab step, step through, jab step, step through, step back, and there you go. It's good to put some time into freestyle mode to see which dribble moves work. If they don't work, you'll see your character doing a stagger animation. So as you can see from Steph here, you can combine actually two very powerful size-up combinations to create space, and then launch into an explosive dribble. And in the next series, I'll be teaching the basics of shooting. Because this will be very important in terms of now that you've learned to create space, it's good to know which type of shots will work best in specific situations. So you'll have an available array of step backs, snatch backs, hop jumpers, all using the right stick and in combination with your dribble moves will give you an opportunity to break your defender down, create scoring opportunities much easier, and at the same time, style on your defender as well. So those are the basics of dribbling. I spent maybe an hour a day in freestyle mode just trying to practice different combinations which work. And those are just the basics and sort of intermediate techniques. What I like to do is I try to figure out certain explosions from certain dribble moves to see which are the most effective. So as you can see here, this behind the back explosion is so effective in terms of launching your player to the opposite direction. So for example, what I like to do is set up my opponent with a hesitation dribble. From the hesitation, launch into that behind the back dribble animation, create space, make my shot. And there you go. One last thing I guess is counter dribbles off of motion. I think I taught this yesterday. Behind the back dribble, you execute that by, as you are moving forward, flick the right stick back. It gives you a very nice step back dribble. And as a general rule, holding turbo while flicking the right stick in different directions gives you your explosive size ups. So in this case, my explosive hesitation size up is done by holding R2 and flicking the right stick towards the right. That's different from a normal hesitation, which looks like this, and a hard hesitation, which looks like that. Much more distance covered, much more explosive in terms of branching out and creating moves.